Your savings could disappear without a prenup. Are you ready for that risk? A prenuptial agreement is a document entered into by both parties prior to the marriage. Typically, this document is going to outline what would happen in the unfortunate event that the parties end up having to separate from the marriage. Prenups can be really beneficial as they can give you specific guidelines as to who's going to take what in that dissolution of marriage process, and they can really simplify that process as a whole. Should your family's legacy be vulnerable to a divorce? Inheritances in Arizona can be tricky. While commonly seen as an exception to the community property rule, inheritances can sometimes have issues when we're talking about trying to divide them upon dissolution of marriage. What happens in situations where parties become married and then one party gets an inheritance is they frequently commingle those funds with their community funds, and that can create significant issues pertaining to how that sole and separate inheritance versus your community money is going to be divided. Usually, if we're not able to appropriately trace those funds, your inheritance can be risked to being considered community property and being divided equally between the parties. It's really important that you have a prenuptial agreement in place to ensure that both parties know exactly what to expect upon that dissolution of marriage. Nervous about having the prenup talk with your fiance? That's a totally normal feeling. Most people are afraid to go into this conversation with their fiance and typically don't know where to start. While it might be a difficult conversation to initiate, it's important for you to initiate it. And it's important because you're going to have a lot of difficult conversations during your marriage. Having this one prior to your marriage and making sure that you guys are being smart financially will benefit you in the long run, and it'll ensure that you guys are able to talk through those more difficult conversations during your marriage. Would you rather plan for the worst or hope for the best? Is a prenuptial agreement going to negatively impact your marriage, or is it going to set you guys up for success at the end of your marriage? Typically, I lean towards the latter. Parties who get a prenuptial agreement usually have a much happier and healthier marriage because they know exactly what they're going to do with their financials. They're not worried about what's going to happen during their marriage and how that's going to impact their divorce because they know exactly what to expect at the end of the case. Usually having a prenuptial agreement in place will really limit the amount of financial arguments you're going to have during your marriage. Prenups are very tricky. Having an experienced attorney like the attorneys at Desert Legal Group to guide you through that process can be extremely beneficial to your case.